Does your blouse do this? It just won't stay put and it slips to the back and chokes you in the front. Let's talk about a few ways to tackle this, or you could just start wearing your blouses backwards. My name is Saremy, and I like talking about fitting in a way that either helps you understand what's happening with you versus your garment, or maybe inspires you to be a little creative and adventurous in figuring out how this spatial stuff works. If you don't know much about me, I am a trained pattern drafter and designer who worked in the garment industry and the outerwear industry, and now I work here in the home sewing space, helping people with fitting, sewing, and drafting questions, either through pattern companies or my own community. And I wrote a book all about fitting called Fitopedia, an encyclopedia of fitting adjustments for the upper body and sleeve. And yes, there is one coming for the lower body and torso. The fitting adjustments I'm going to be talking about today are for shaping this upper body here. If you were to look up these adjustments in Fitopedia, we're talking about the upper back shaping is too flat. And just to familiarize with my terminology, I'm always speaking as if the pattern is deficient. So I'm not going to be talking about round back adjustments or dowager's humps because I don't know why we got those names. But I am going to be talking about when the pattern is just too flat for you up here, because you're human and you have an upper back and you have shoulder blades, and everybody needs a little shaping there, no matter who they are. In this particular example, I'm going to extend upon what's in Fitopedia because this particular garment has a band that goes around the neckline, flat and flush to the body, and includes a yoke. So what do you do when you have these kinds of constraints and you need a little bit of shaping back here to prevent this? Let's talk about why this happens in the first place. A lot of modern sewing patterns don't have a lot of shaping up here in the shoulders and the upper back right now. It's just not our trend to see a lot of darts or things like that that are going to help shape the pattern to the wearer. But we can add a little bit of shaping and we can add a little bit of space or volume for a person back there in ways that won't disrupt the pattern or change the sewing. Sometimes we can even make changes and adjustments that are going to affect the pattern pieces, but not affect the pattern pieces that sew to them, which is great. We don't really want to fiddle with this band sometimes. But it's okay if we have to, and I really don't want you to be afraid to do so. Our body has planes. We have our back, we have our front, we have our sides. Now, if we were to cut this bodice off right here, just straight down right here and straight down right here, we'd be cutting off the sides of the garment. We'd have something more similar to a garment that has, say, a grown on or cut on sleeve, in fact, because there's no depth or dimension allowed for the human in there, and that's why those fit so funny. The other place that we have a plane is here at the shoulders. And if we were to trim this off and about right here, just removing this flat section here of the body of the pattern, we'd have basically two pieces of flat paper on the front and the back. We would have removed everything that gave the depth for the person. So when you think about the shoulders, sometimes people call them the strap. Even though it's a garment and doesn't have a strap, a lot of times the shoulder area is called the strap. And that's because it's something that's connecting from front to back and giving the pattern depth for the space for you. Just like the rise on pants is creating space for the body. It's the same here at the side seam. To go around the body right here, if we get rid of this little bit right here, it's not going to be able to reach the front. Even if we made this straight out and we didn't have this contour of the armhole, if we were to sew those two pieces together, there's no depth allowed. So when you think about these sides right here, that's basically the depth allowing for the space of the body. Hence why a lot of people who have breast tissue need darts. That's because there's outward projection from this cylinder of the body. Now, if we were just cylinders and we didn't have anything that we needed to shape for, we could just basically wear a cylinder, right? It wouldn't be very shapely, but you can kind of see that if this were made out of fabric, it'd probably be gaping all over the place. All right, so here we have a pattern that is a grown on or cut on sleeve. So there's no set in armhole. And you can see that it's basically like wearing two pieces of paper that's just flat, because without a set in armhole, we lose this plane over here. And the pattern needs to be made wide enough to accommodate the circumference of the person, but then it lacks the depth. It doesn't have a plane right here, allowing for the depth of the person from front to back. And that's why when you wear these and you put your arm down, you know, it distorts the whole pattern, creating some fit issues. These are really fun to wear, and they showcase a nice fabric or something, and they're easy and fast to sew, but they do have some fitting challenges that we've all probably encountered. But basically, we just don't have the depth here. We don't have a plane, and that's why the set-in armhole was just so revolutionary for fitting, because it creates a plane right here, top and bottom. So here we have a garment with a set-in armhole, and it's very obvious we can move our arm without affecting the rest of the garment, because we can put a set-in sleeve on here. And if we want garments that are closer fitting or a little bit more shaped to our silhouette, this is going to give us the dimension we need and allow for us to create shaping wherever we need it, because we don't have to worry about affecting that sleeve, and we don't have to leave the garment larger so that we can actually wear it and function. This we can have a little more fitted. So everybody has an upper back and shoulder blades. You can see it's always gently sloped here, for some more than others. All of our contours are different from one another, but we all have something back here. We can sometimes get away without any shaping at all. It just depends on the pattern, the fabric, and maybe certain elements of the sewing that sort of help the garment sit on you properly. On this particular sample here, the shoulder is right here, but the shoulder seam is a little bit forward. So this can add another constraint to how to change these things, and that's okay. We know roughly where the shoulder is. If it's not marked on your pattern, we can always figure that out, or at least guess where it's at. Now this is going to happen for a few different reasons. Mainly, the slopes right here of the pattern are not matching yours. And it's usually going to be because the slope right here of your shoulders at the neck end are too flat. They're too far that way. Or it's because this area right here doesn't have any outward volume. Here I've added a little bit of volume to the yoke pattern without it going to affect any other pattern pieces. I've added a little bit of extra, and then we've eased it, and we can ease it into that neckband without it being visible. Now you can see it pretty well on here because I've added it in excess to what this little gal needs. So we're seeing extra volume on this person. This is not very different than easing a sleeve into an armhole, and we can get that nice and smooth too. Here I've added some darts. And this is going to add a lot of extra volume that's outward from the garment, and probably the most accurate way to add this shaping for the upper body. Now the cons are that it's added these little darts here, and visually you may not want darts, but darts are a very underrated shaping feature. They're very useful, and I definitely like having them in most of my garments. I can see not wanting them on a yoke, especially if you had a pattern print that may get interrupted by that. But you can see we have a lot of extra volume here. And we have this shaping pointing right at the shoulder blades. And this is too much for her, but you can see that it's sticking out from the body. So let me show you a few other ways on some pattern pieces. Now these upper back shaping issues and adjustments that we're going to discuss can be done on lots and lots of different kinds of patterns, not just what I'm working on today. And I'll try and remind you about that along the way, just so that you know how it would look if you were working on something a little different. So here I have 4 garments that have this band that is flush to the neck. It's not a collar, it's flat on the body. For this one right here, the pattern pieces are going to look roughly like this. This band here, it's not a facing, even though it looks a little bit like it. It's more like an extension of the bodice. So it's fitting more like this. It completes the bodice. And the same goes for the back neck facing as well. Now here, this red line, that's denoting the actual shoulder line of the person. It's not always going to be marked on the pattern, but it would be indicated by some notches if the shoulder seam comes forward from the natural shoulder line. Even if you don't know exactly where that shoulder line is, you can still roughly figure it out by just cutting out the yoke and maybe the front, trying it on and seeing where it is on you. And then you'll have it as a line for adjustments. Here we have 3 options that are going to affect the fit that will help this garment stay seated on the shoulders and allows for enough space for the upper body. On the left, these are going to be similar to what you're going to see in Fitopedia for increasing the upper back shaping when it's too flat. Now this one here, this is just adding ease right there at the pattern, and we ease it into this band. I'm showing you the little tucks there just so you can see that's where the easing is happening, but hopefully yours would be a little less conspicuous because you can just gather it just to the point right before that there's tucks. Now this one here is adding a dart, and you can see we've added volume to the yoke, and then that also created the darts here at the neckline, pointing right where we want it at those shoulder blades. And they'd be sewn right here. This wouldn't change any other pattern pieces. You could still sew the neckband to it as is without any changes. Here I added the ease at the neckline, but I put the pivot point right here at the juncture of the yoke seam and the armhole. I did that because if I had put it right here instead, which is also a really great place to slash and open it up, the problem with doing that is that it would disrupt the yoke seam and make it at an angle. And then it would disrupt that line if you were using a pattern that maybe had stripes or plaid or something you wanted to keep straight. It's okay if you do this though, if it works for your pattern print. Now this one here on the right is about increasing the neck base. And in Fitopedia, this is neck base is too tight. It's just too tight around the neck here of the person, and the slope of that shoulder at the neck end is too flat. Now this is in some ways a shoulder slope issue, but when we're talking about fitting adjustments that deal with the shoulder slope here, when the angle is incorrect at this end, we're calling it a neck base issue. It's either too tight or too loose for the neck base of the wearer. Now, if we're talking about an issue that's incorrect at this end, we're talking about a shoulder slope issue. And you might see some of this affect the garment pulling to the back as well. Getting the shoulder slope of the garment similar to yours makes a really big impact on fitting. Now for this one, we would be affecting the neckband piece because it's too tight as well. And the way this would look on the person is you'd probably see some strain lines pointing a little bit at that neck there, and it would feel a little just too small, and it would also probably make the outer shoulder look a little floppy. You could tell if the shoulder might fit if it could settle on the person, but because it's just too tight here, it just can't. Now when we have things like bands that sew to our pattern piece there, if we're a little bit nervous about making changes because we have this band, we can always add it to the pattern piece and then treat the whole pattern piece as one pattern. It completes this whole upper portion of the bodice. In general, these band pieces lay flush with the pattern and they're not adding any contouring, but there can be secret darts at sometimes, and you'll see that right away when you try and line it up if it's not lining up flat, and maybe you have something like a little gap right there. That would tell me there's a dart there. Just treat it like that. Treat it like it has a dart. You can see there's your dart. I mean, obviously that wouldn't be like that. It would be lined up on the seam, but now you have this whole bodice and you can deal with your fitting issues. Now, if we wanted to adjust something like the shoulder slope, or maybe we wanted to add to this neck base, we can cut straight through where this shoulder line is. We can cut this all as one, both pieces at the same time. My hinge there is at the armhole, and now I've added to my shoulder slope, because remember, this is the shoulder slope, not this. That's that front seam there. So now I know exactly how much I want to add to this to make the neck base looser around the base of the neck. Now I know I'm making this look a little easy doing this digitally, because this little guy right here, already alarm bells are going off in my head. Oh, this guy, he's loose. He's not attached to anything anymore. And we need to make sure that we keep track of him. And we also make sure that we maintain our shoulder slope. We keep our seams stacked here, and we're only adding where we want to be adding. In fitting, we're always asking ourselves two questions. Did I accomplish what I was out to do? What other pieces did I affect? And then sometimes that may change the first question because you don't want to deal with the pieces that you affected. Sometimes we just got to deal with those pieces. So now once I've made my change and I add my paper behind these, I can now separate the band from the yoke. I have both my pattern pieces updated and they're now separate, and we know that they work together. So when you're looking at your fitting issues and the pattern pieces have seams in them, or maybe you don't want to disrupt a certain design element, think of putting those pieces back together into their original shape and then looking at where you can change things so that you're not affecting other seams. There are a few other ways in Fitopedia to add to this upper back shaping and make it less flat. Sometimes you need just a little bit more length. This would add length to the center back here. It maintains the length of the neckline seam, so our band is still gonna work. And we haven't changed any of the other seams except the length of the yoke. We would just make sure that we've got a nice straight line here. If this little tiny bit you've added to the neckline seam is too much, you can adjust your band pretty easily by adding that parallel amount right there to the center back. Thinking about which seam interacts with other seams and what the length of those seams is, it keeps your sewing really honest, and it also means that you're going to be more successful when you get to the sewing machine. Well, I hope the next time you're fitting this upper back area, you are inspired to try things and figure out a creative way to get that shaped up to fit you. And if you haven't checked out my book, Fitopedia, please do so. This book is for all sizes, all genders, all armholes, all shaping styles. Nothing has been left out. There's 70 fitting issues and 350 adjustments. Fitting doesn't have anything to do with sizing. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. Fitting is more about what the pattern is lacking for you. The same person can have the same fitting issue going both directions. It just depends on the pattern. If you want to see a tour of the book, you can check out my website at soso.live and see if the book is for you. I would not have made this book if I didn't think I could make a really good version of a fitting book. Happy fitting, and I hope all those patterns never slip to the back again.